Well, I'm back for another edition of Focus on Lenses. We're still talking about the Canon T2i Rebel or the 5500D. The 5500D has several things that I really like. First of all, it does have a viewfinder. We click it on, you have a very ample readout that tells you all the information you want. Aperture setting, shutter speed, you have image enhancement on here, how many photos left, all kinds of information. Should you not want to use this, simply press the live view button and it changes to the live view, and you can use it like most people do with their DSLRs or their regular cameras. I prefer up here. Autofocus works just great, so you really don't ever have to manually focus. So if you want to just pan your shots, again, you can just hold it up here and pan it. I prefer holding it to my face, stabilizes the camera, but that is totally up to you how you decide to use this. The settings are pretty easy and straightforward. 99% of the time I run it on aperture priority. I set my aperture usually, like I said, a couple stops above the lowest because that seems to be the best focus, and then let the shutter speed take care of itself. Should I have a little trouble with light, I may move the ISO up and down, and then make it very easy to get to the ISO to change that. Same thing with your exposure compensation. You have a quick button on your camera that allows you to highlight anything on this screen and then use your thumb wheel to adjust it. So adjustments are very, very simple in the field. So you take a shot, you look at it. If you're not happy with it, you've got real simple controls that will allow you to take the shots you want. Another good thing I like about this guy too is he has an auto burst, 3.7 frames a second. Now some cameras do faster than that, but 3.7 is not bad. You see a shot you want, you hold it down, and it'll just keep clicking as long as you hold it down. Now it has a buffer in here, and eventually the buffer will get filled up. So you don't want to do it completely, but it's a way to get 6 or 7 good shots off and then pick the one you like the best. That seems to be the way that I get a lot of my bird shots, is just blast away like it's a machine gun. We've already talked about the teleconverter on the zoom lens. We've talked about the zoom lens. We've talked about image stabilization and autofocus. Now, like I said, without the converter, autofocus all the time, image stabilization all the time. Point, shoot, frame your shots, and you're going to take great, great shots. You may want to change your exposures a couple times to see which one you like the best. The walkabout, you're going to probably want to carry this lens somewhere on your person as well, the macro lens. You can go from shooting far, far off. You see a cactus or something you want, you can put this on. You can experiment with or without these spacers on here. Like I said, they come in kits of 3. Each one's a different length, and you can stack them together or not, depending on what you want to do. I typically use the largest one in conjunction with this. This one is a 31 millimeter in conjunction with this macro lens, and it takes really, really good up close shots. If your subject is not moving at all and you'd really like a real close shot, I also have the Canon 250D diopter, which is a magnifier that goes onto the front of the lens. Now, this guy's a little dicey. This thing will autofocus even at the macro lenses, but you put this thing on here and all you got to do is breathe and you may focus in and out of your shot. Best used with a tripod or in a good position where you can support your camera. But this will get tight shots. I don't know if you feel like getting that close. You're going to have to get within inches of your subject if you want a good shot. This is pretty decent setup right here. You can get 6 inches or less from your subject, not intrusive. And even if you want to, these extension tubes is what they're called. You can use 3 of them if you want to, and even put it on this teleconverter. You're going to get close-up shots farther away. As you move closer to your subject, it will expand inside your rangefinder, but you can use even on this. So these aren't just, the extension tubes aren't just for the macro lenses. You can use them on any lens. You can use them on a prime, whatever lens you want, but most people use these in conjunction with a macro to get the most magnification. One final thing, not final thing, Now I bought this just as a lark. This is a Bauer 500mm f8 manual focus lens. Actually, I had to buy the T-mount to put it on my camera. You can put this on pretty much anything. I went ahead and got a Bauer 2X teleconverter as well, making the effective range of this 1000 millimeters. Again, it will fit on your camera very easily. There's a tripod mount here where I've actually mounted a quick release here, and all my tripods are mounted with the same quick release. So I can go from holding the camera with this lens to holding this guy. Now again, he's manual focus, and when you have a camera that's not a Canon camera, it turns off the f-stop. So when you have this camera on, it's going to say F00 on it. The f-stop is not engaged on this guy right here. So you can use the f-stop on this. Again, I'd probably shoot this thing wide open, manually focus. This is for faraway shots. I mean, put it on a tripod, focus on something you want, just to see what happens. I mean, it's a lark. The lens cost me $100. Teleconverter was like 85, so I figured, what the heck, it's worth it just to have a plaything. Now I did purchase polarizing lens. I've yet to use it, but I know that you like those, so that's going to be there too. Canon recommends lens hoods. These are plastic lens hoods. The bad part about them is they're hard to carry on your person with your lens, but again, they're made to work with the focal length of your lens. They clip off and on relatively easily, and they protect your lens. A lot of pros don't like using skylight filters because it's one more piece of glass between you and your subject. So you can use these instead. I highly recommend them, especially in sunny days. This is going to keep the glare out, keep the light out of the lens that you don't want in it. I have a couple of these. This one I like. These are monopods, and this is Vanguard, a pretty decent brand. This guy's kind of shortish, but maybe for you it'd be okay. What I like about this one is it has a footrest on it, which is why I purchased it. So once you get where you're going, you can flip this little lever out, stand on it, and it really helps support it, so you can get some better shots should you need it. 90% of the time, autofocus, image stabilization, you won't need any help at all holding your camera stable. On top of that, I went ahead and bought what looks like a bowling bag. This case is pretty cool because it has a little hammock that holds your lens. So you put your camera in lens first, and the hammock will hold it still. I've got pouches on either side for lenses, so you can carry 3 lenses with you. I got little pouches everywhere for this guy. You can put. I got a spare battery. I've got I got the diopters. I got a hole here for the extenders and for the multipliers. Should you need to, you can carry this thing around in one piece, and you'll have pretty much 99% of what you want. You may want to carry a tripod. I've got a cheapy aluminum tripod, very lightweight, if you want to carry it around too. So this thing right here, I've got this thing designed one bag, and everything that you're going to need to fit in, you can carry this thing around. Like I said though, when you're walking about, if you're far away from camp, you're going to want to carry both these lenses, either this one on, and so if you see a shot that you like and you want to bend over and do some macro photography, carry this guy with you too. I've got bags that'll carry your camera with one lens on it, a holster that the senior gave me, and I also have a pouch that you can carry this around. So as you're walking about, you can have both lenses and take a wide variety of shots. I've got an 8 gig chip in there that will hold over 1,000 photos. Bring more camera chips. They take regular standard SD. I've got a class 6 inside there, which will handle more burst and do some videos, because you need a high performance chip to receive all that information in from your camera. So basically, I wanted to give you an overview of the lenses that we have. I've got the Papa Bear, the 300 to 70 zoom. I've got the Mama Bear, the 100 fixed, plus the macro that does stunning shots because of the low light, and the macro lets you do just stunning things, and you're going to find plenty of bugs, I'm certain. The walkabout lens on here, and this is very lightweight. When you put this lens on here, this camera you can carry around all day long, and it won't fatigue your hand. So this again is the 18 to 55 zoom. All the lenses get very, very good marks from the reviewers. And this guy, I'm sure somewhere along the line you're going to want to take a shot of something way, way far off just to see what happens. Go play with it and have a good time. I think I've done all of explaining I can. I didn't know if you were really up on the dichotomy between the full frame sensor and the APS-C, or the crop frame sensor. Crop frame sensors are in what they call the high-end entry-level DSLRs, and most pros prefer the full frame. And the reason why is because the pros still have a lot of old glass from their 35 days, and they wanted a body that those lenses would fit on. So they clamored until that, but to make that big full-frame sensor is very expensive. Like I said, the cheapest camera out there full frame is still $3,000, and you can get these cameras run between $600 and $1,000, and this is the best camera on the market for under $1,000. So I did really good on buying this. A couple of the original kit lenses I've also replaced with these better ones, but I've still got them, and they're still good lenses. So this is a pretty good setup. It'll let you do whatever you want to, from close to far, far away. Manual manual focus, autofocus, automatic exposure levels. And one more thing that I almost forgot, I don't know if you're ever going to use this or not, but this is a flash ring, or ring flash. It affixes itself to the front of your lens. This goes in your hot shoe, and this allows you to do macro photography with a really, really good source of light. And I've tried this out tons, and it works really, really well. So anytime you have a macro shot and you think the light's not right, you can simply attach this guy on here. I play with this a little bit to get used to your exposures. I prefer to use the manual exposure, the TV. Set my shutter speed like I like, and watch this thing, because this emits a lot of light, but you can use your high shutter speeds, and you can really control how much light gets in your image, and you can come up with some really, really good close-up shots that are actually well lit. It's better than just using the natural light when you want to do some macro photography. So I've got all the bases covered. The Canon does have its own pop-up flash. Most people don't recommend using it, but if you need it in a pinch, you can use it. Bad thing is the shutter speed stops at about 200 when you're using this, because actually if it's faster, part of your image is gone. So you can't use a flash in conjunction with high shutter speeds if you want to experiment outdoors. Some people like using flash outdoors. I've tried it, and the shutter speed is just too slow. So anyways, this is a second version of Focus on Lenses, and I hope I've covered all the bases and shown you pretty much what is at your disposal when you're ready to go on that big trip. You've got all your bases covered, and I've got it all in a very convenient carrying bag. Thanks for watching Focus on Lenses.